All right, this is gonna be. We're gonna be here for a. It's gonna be here for a long night, folks. It's gonna be 4 rounds of Swiss. Something that's been happening in this regular season across the weeks, except it's gonna happen all at once, all in one night. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. I'll be covering this match. Squirtle Boss will be covering another match. Head over to his Twitch to see his games. And right now, let's get started. There are currently no bans outside of, obviously, Typhlosion. He, like, literally just came out. So he will be banned for this entire day. But on to these bans. Usual suspects. Charwai, Psyduck, Umbreon. People have been banning Articuno a lot. I personally don't think it's worth the ban, but he is a good mon. He does have his weaknesses, though. Let's see what are these other bans. We're going to have Machampion. Machamp stops have really gone up. And I know why. I'll tell you why. You had Mons, you had other all-arounders, you had your Zacians, you had your Blazikins. Really strong Mons, but they had a lot of unstoppables. Unstoppable on Overheat, unstoppable on Zacian's ult. But now they're just hindrance resistant, which means someone like Machamp can grab them. And that's why Machamp is so popular. Going on to these next picks. Blastoise hasn't been banned, so he's up for grabs, and Outrage Rev is going to be taking him right away. Right at Jiffy. On a Jiffy right now. DLG's Gray, going to go over to Blissey, more strong picks. And there's going to be an Espeon here, a good laner. Probably going to head to the bottom. Actually, instead of Blissey, it's going to be Eldegoss here. Over on Outrage. They're going to get some range. They're going to get some help. Outrage tends to pick Miraidon and Darkrai together. I like this idea. If they're going to pick Darkrai, they're also going to want to choose its counter, which is, Miraidon. But no, they're not going to go with Darkrai, but they're going to leave it on the hill. They're actually going to go with Alcremie. Whenever one team has a healing support, it is usually in the other team's best interest to also have a healing support. Otherwise, you can't heal off some of that entry damage that's just going to be happening from the enemy team. It's just going to be more or less permanent damage. If you don't want that permanent damage, you're going to have to walk back to base and heal up, which is a time waster. Next 2 picks over to DLG is going to be Crustle and Empoleon, a defender and all-arounder. So far, DLG has a balanced composition, along with Outrage as well. Balanced composition, a speedster, and an all-arounder. All right, they have all their bases covered. DLG is going to stick with another all-arounder in Mimikyu. Mimikyu can kind of act like a speedster and get attacked from an off angle. And by off angle, I mean it just uses Shadow Sneak, goes through a bunch of obstructions like bushes or walls, and leashes onto its targets from a range. A really far range if you're not careful. About 30 seconds left for this final preparations before we head into game 1 here. Gotta have that all set up for you guys. All right, we're about to start. I'm very excited. You guys excited for game 1, round 1? Let's get active here. One second, gonna get everything uploaded. And we're off to the races. At the bottom lane is going to be Squirtle Squirt heading down with Miraidon. Leafeon will be the jungler for Outrage. Up at the top, it's going to be Zacian and an Alcremie. They will be going up against DLG's Empoleon. We're going to be having a bit of a scuffle here between both supports, looking for the potential invade. Eldegoss going in with the A-Press, a stronger A-Press in my opinion. Over in the center is going to be Slash's Mimikyu. At the bottom is going to be Crustle, followed by Espeon. Both Crustle and Espeon want their level 4s. So they're going to stick with the neutral farm here. Getting ready for the 915. Getting ready to compete with the contested farm. It's going to be a tough order. They're going up against Miraidon. Has that long range. He just didn't get it out in time. And that's the level 4 for Espeon. Over here. Leafeon's trying to get a steal some farm here. Mimikyu already got all of its farm. It's locked and loaded, ready to go at level 5. This Leafeon's going to have to be careful with this engage in about 5 seconds. All right, it's right now a 4v2. All hands on deck. Crustle with the wall, perhaps? No, not yet. They're still going to go with the push. DLC Slash going in. Leafeon has reached level 5 and is ready to engage. Mimikyu not giving up. Gonna need some help here. Missing the Eldegoss heal. Gonna get taken down by Leafeon. Yes, it will. Uh-oh. And Empoleon has leveled up. But it's on the retreat. Crustle letting his teammates know, hey, I go, you stay, no following. All right. Looks like the rest of the team made it out. Crustle working its way to the bottom. Walling in a righteous wall. That's gonna have to force an eject. Doesn't want to take any extra damage. That has one eject he won't have for about, I think around, what, 80-something seconds? A long time, in fact. Gilchi is gonna be right on this Regidrago. Regidrago spawns in at the 8-minute mark. There is secure from Miraidon. Heading out to bottom. That's a nice steal, but he might regret that. Getting a lot of damage on Mimikyu. Good stuff. Great target acquisition. Next on the chopping block is Crustle. All right. Couple more seconds. 720 farm is about to appear. Squirtle, Wartortle really needs this farm. He wants level 7. He wants Surf to go along with that Hydro Pump. Miraidon already starting to hit it. Gonna get the Charge Beam ready. Getting it all set up. Most of that farm is gonna go towards GLG, but Miraidon has reached level 7. All right, we're gonna head to the top really quickly. Mimikyu's over here. Leafeon and Zacian are over here. They already have big plans for this Regieleki. They want to recruit it for their team, and they're gonna have it. Regieleki walking in towards tier 1 for DLG, Dark Lords Gaming. All right, and Empoleon's just gonna have to let that one go through. They're not gonna quite break it yet. They don't want to give up the extra farm. Let's check out on bottom. There's gonna be a massive surf on the way. No, getting walled out, getting X-scissored by Crustle. There's the flash. Want to preserve its health. There is the healing support at the bottom. Alcremie giving dollops for everybody. Surf to divide them along the lines. Blastoise trying to get that attacker, but Mimikyu shadow sneaking in. That's gonna be a KO'd Miraidon. Leafeon is back, and one ult deserves another. KO on Mimikyu. Uh-oh, you what? Get that secure. Espeon grabs it. There is an ult. Uh-oh, Leafeon's in trouble here. Gonna have to back off. Alcremie giving Leafeon a chance to try to get more KOs, but just couldn't quite get it. Blastoise, Outrage's Rev, is level 8, almost level 9 for the Hydro Typhoon. Gonna surf away that farm. That's how you win games. Get all the farm. Leafeon heading on back to top. Getting more farm. Siphoning away experience from Outrage. So far, both teams have all their pads up. 77 to 38. It's very close, but it is Outrage's favor. Going back to Alcremie here, scoping out the position. Blastoise coming along in with the surf. And Empoleon, that says enough is enough. It's time to it's time to fight. Hydro Typhoon, down goes Empoleon. It is a 2-for-1. Zacian's like, hey, I'm gonna do my job. Oh, Mimikyu sniping along in. There's the surf. He's getting the shields from the ult. Down goes Zacian. Mimikyu's still up. Just missed the secure. Down goes Blastoise. Uh oh, Mimikyu's not stopping. Looks like Outrage is gonna have to give up on this pad. There is the score. Another score. You. Ah, you're good. Sorry about that, folks. We are back. We're having some bracket troubles, but we are good to keep going. Zacian moving in. There is the ultimate. Metal Claw with the KO. Enhanced. Gonna score that 16. Have Zacian keep its points. Remember, Zacian sacrifices points for an extra move and stronger basic attacks. Alright, going for those Metal Claws. They're gonna have to back up. Let's check out on Mimikyu and friends. Alright, Mimikyu's already ulting in. They already took down Miraidon. They're gonna take down Blastoise next too. Blastoise has arrived. There's another serve. There's a Hydro Pump. Keep them off the pad. Zacian is here. Alright, gotta get Shadow Snuck. Leafeon's here to back it up. Down goes Zacian. Leafeon lives to fight it. Okay, wait! No! Did the farm get it? I know the kill says Mimikyu, but the farm actually KO'd him. We all saw it. He got caught in 4K. I won't forget. I'll never forget. All right. There is more serves, more farm to compete for. Tier 1 is broken up top for both teams. Regieleki has spawned in and Mimikyu is on the scene. Strange that Alcremie is there all by his lonesome, trying to be a hero. We don't do that around here. There's no need for heroes when you can work as a team. Alright, Zacian can't hold it all by himself. That's gonna walk in. Everyone's rotating a little too late here. They're gonna sacrifice Zacian, and uh-oh, Alcremie, you gotta back up, mate. That pad is gone. Your Zacian is gone. The big man at level 12, and it's time for Groudon. It is here. All right, Outrage. Gonna start poking at it, forcing an engagement out of DLG. Miraidon has its passive activated. Him and his teammates will be doing more damage. When inside of the ring, of course. All right, Blastoise ulting in, catching people. Mimikyu's in massive danger. Here comes some ults from Miraidon. Who's gonna get the security? It's Miraidon's team. Outrage takes the first objective of Groudon. Time to score, boys. Time to bring it home. Looks like game one's gonna be going to Outrage here. DLG's gonna have to wait for all man on deck. Everyone needs to spawn in. They're gonna make a 5-man push for top or bottom pad. Well, top doesn't exist, so it's gonna have to be bottom pad. Leafeon coming in from the flank. Dangerous play, but it was well worth it. 25 seconds remain. If Outrage holds it down, they're going to be the game winners of game one. That is all she wrote. Wonderful job. Outrage will be taking game number one of this playoff set against DLG. All right, let's check out these numbers. Final score is 452 to 214. Pretty close. It's only a couple score difference. MVP will be Val of Outrage. 6 KOs, 6 assists, 87 overall rating. Good stuff to Val. Whenever he had an opportunity to rip the objective, he did just that. Let's not waste any time or play for objectives because they create scoring opportunities. You win the game by scoring points. That is the mission statement. Just stick with it. And the damage is there. 79k leading with Ushio. About 80k damage dealt. Zacian and Maridon doing over 60k each respectively. All right. Let's head on to this game number 2. Stay tuned. All right, we are back. I think set up for game number 2. 3 games will be played each game, each set, each round. Always 3. And then winner will be determined from there. It's not best of 3. It is 3 games total. Unlike our regular season where it was 4 games. We're a bit on a timer. We're going to be here for a couple hours. But hey, that's more games for everybody. Hope you guys enjoy it. Back to these bands. Same as per usual. Champ, Charwai, Psyduck, Umbreon, Sirfetch, and the Bluebird in Articuno. Banning outright. Moving on. First pick, once again, the big man, Blastoise. Hey, that Johto starter isn't legal here. Get it off the board. I don't want to see it. All right, will Gray go for another Elder game? No, it's going to be Blissey this time around. Interesting exchange, interesting update. Let's see what other changes are in store for Dark Lords Gaming. There is the Alcremie, as per usual. Val is thinking hard on his all-rounder choice. Looks like he's going to hone in on a Zoomeril. Zoomeril will always do a critical hit if it's in combat with one other target in its range. Going back over to DLG, they're going to get some added muscle. They're going to get the mom with all the muscles, Buzzwole. Look at that forearm. Look at that chest. Every day's chest day. Don't you forget it. And we're going to have the woolly mammoth. We're going to have Mamoswine. One of the best defenders in the game right now. Second only to Blastoise, perhaps. That is a discussion for another day. Last two picks for Outrage. They're going to be two attackers, it looks like. One is going to be the mage Latios, the blue man, blue boy. And they're going to have the A-Presser and Cinderace. Getting two different forms of offense there for the attackers. I like to see it. Covering their bases. They see a lot of frontline targets in Mamo, Buzzwole, and Blissey. They want to get some Draco Meteor stacks, perhaps. And they're going to have Cinderace with a single targeting feature. If it does Blaze Kick, if it does Pyro Ball, that's going to be able to hit multiple targets for a lot of burst damage. We're going to have to see. Interesting choice for that item for Cinderace. It is going to be running a choice Scarf. Whenever it does 3 basic attacks in a row, its movement speed is going to be increased. So once it stays light on its feet, no matter what it's doing. Final preparations are almost done here. We're going to move on to game number 2 out of 3. 3 games are always going to be played here for the Swiss tonight. Looking forward to that. Hajime loading in. We pray for no crashes. That's just going to extend the timer longer for everybody. We're not looking forward to that. So hopefully there's no crashes. I also see all these players are already in Master, but if you're in Master and Legend from the previous season, you're like a couple games away from Master as it is. You just started like an Ultra 1 at the door. So that's an interesting choice for this game. But these guys are Masters in my book. They have the skill level for it. Hit it on! All right. Squirtle heading to the bottom with the Latios. Hopefully, it can get its levels to 5 so we can start getting Eon stacks. Cinderace will be the jungler this time around for Outrage. At the top, it's going to be the support and the all-arounder and Alcremie and Meryl. They'll be going off against the tire of Buzzwole and Chansey. Chansey looking out for invades. Speaking of invade, we're going to have Mamoswine making his way over. Squirtle has vision on him. He's going to head in. At the bottom is going to be Espeon fighting off against Latios. And Froakie going to be the jungler. This Mamo's not going to go for the invade. He's going to be fighting against the Squirtle. I believe Mamo is advantaged in this matchup, but he's taking way too much damage from Squirtle without contesting. Flashing in, going for a tackle attack, using up resources to try to get this Latios, to try to slow it down. Over at the top, Azuma already has Whirlpool, but is getting bubbled to submission by Greninja. A couple more seconds. Contested Farmer is going to spawn, as we in the community call bees, because they used to be comb bees before. All right, Mega Punch going in. Evolution is going to go towards Outrage. And Gray has evolved level 4. And Ninja heading towards the center, getting some extra farm. Taking a lot of damage from Cinderace. Got him KO'd. You got to get out of there. Time to bail. And he got the berry. This is Kyogre map. Berries are going to be everywhere. Now, did not forget about what Squirtle did to it. Squirtle pushing it towards the berry. Interesting choice, but Squirtle actually does get the berry. Proccing the focus band from Mamo. Gonna run towards its side, getting its berry. These defenders, they are aggressive. But they gotta focus up. They're both still level 4. They're gonna need their levels here. Mamo gonna go for the ice shards. Slowing down this Latios. Latios just getting started, just reached level 5. Gonna need Eon stacks ASAP. Uh-oh, that's an Ice Fang. Alcremie goes down to a tackle attack from Mamo. Uh-oh. Cinderace looking to have some attention. Just gonna be poking at it. Uh-oh, Greninja didn't take that very lightly. Gonna move in with a Surf. KO. Up at the top. 720 has arrived. And it's going to be Azumarill and Alcremie versus... Uh-oh. That Buzzwole's almost 7. It's almost prime time. Took a lot of damage. Is going to eject away. Gonna grab that piece of farm for itself. Back at the bottom. A 30 bomb from Ammo Swine. Another 30. They're gonna break this pad now. They're gonna create some pressure. They want the spacing. They want the territory for Regieleki. DLG is leading the score 8-87. That's a secure from Regieleki. It's gonna be walking up. Let's follow some Greninja action. 30 points up top from Azumarill. All right. Another Draco Meteor, but to create space. Another Surf, and ejected in. Azumarill's gonna ult in. He just missed the KO. There's no chasing that. Uh-oh, but they are gonna get the pad. Greninja can't really defend this. Backup has arrived in Blissey. Another ult from Greninja. A Surf and a KO. Good work to Greninja. He's not playing any games with that Cinderace. I do hope that is a faint Cinderace. That way he can use his invincibility frames to reduce some damage. Back towards the top, we're going to have Val getting some extra farm, getting that ult charge, getting its levels. Another eject from Alcremie. Wants nothing to do with that X attack popping Greninja, but he's going to take the farm. Cinderace is lying in wait, waiting for its opportunity. Another ult from Azumarill. Down goes Buzzwole. Uh-oh. Espeon's ulting in. Blastoise is ulting in. More meteors for Latios. Uh-oh. Mamo's here. Ice Fang. Greninja's gonna take that moment to move in. There goes Mamo. Uh-oh. Greninja's in all of that. Down goes Greninja to Hydro Pump. Slam. Bringing down the house. Buzzwole can't do it all, though. This victory's gonna go to Outrage. Time for a big score. Azumarill gets it. Meryl taking a lot of damage. Ladio's getting a lot of stacks. I believe he's at 50 or 75. That is 4 stacks. He's at least 50 Eon. That is 4 meteors. Every 25 stacks, that's an additional meteor, starting from 2 meteors. So, 4 meteors means 50 Eon stacks. At the bottom, Mamoswine, Espeon, holding it down at the bottom, getting Regieleki. Mamo creating space. That is a secure with Surf on Regieleki. They're going to be moving up. Ladio's trying to get some more stacks whenever it can. Alcremie's kind of isolated here. Might as well take a berry for the road. Might as well take a whipped cream for the robe. Gonna eject, breaking their angles. Gonna take another dollop, gonna take another berry. But I believe this is where it ends. That's the Ice Fang. These are some boosteds. More damage, KO. Cinderace is here. Hey, buddy, what's up? Ice Fang. Superpower, KO. Oh, Ladio's getting the secured kill with the ultimate. Wait, 6 meteors. It has all of its stacks. Yep, it has at least 100 Eon stacks. And now the damage is being brought. And now he's going to bring on the pain. DLG's going to have to be careful for this team fight. Their second form of offense is fully online. Now Latios just needs levels to get the scaling right. Over at the center, Alcremie getting vision. It's 240. The top objective is about to spawn shortly. It's going to be a Reggie, but we don't know which one. Well, it won't be Regieleki. Regieleki spawns at bottom for this game. 5, 4, 3. Let's see. Emma going in with an Ice Fang. It's going to be Reggie Steel. Teams are going to want that. That's going to be bonus damage. Mamo moving in. Cinderace, you got to commit to an action. Alzuma's going to pick for you. He's going to get the secure. Down goes Mamo. Sorry. Down goes Buswell. Next is Mamo. Azumo fighting in, but that Mamo has too much health. Down it goes. Store Power Ice Fang combo. Cinderace getting a Blaze Kid, taking down Blissey. Uh-oh, Cinderace wants to be in this position. Just get damage out. Where's the serve? Where's the serve? Where's the serve? There it is. Cinderace lives to fight another day. He's gonna get a sustain from this Kyogre and a dollop. An uppercut from Buzzwole. Espeon is here. Cinderace is just ripping. Cinderace going to the other side. Gonna take down his Buzzwole. KO. Where's that Greninja? We're gonna need some help. Who's gonna get the secure? It's gotta be Latios. Greninja's like, oh man, I'm out of here. I can't defend this. Yep, Blaze Kick going in. KO. You shouldn't even looked at him. Shouldn't even looked at him, my friend. All right, heading up. Outrage. Holding it down. Outrage just basically won game 2. More scores. Greninja can't do much. KO. Triple KO for Latios. Yeah, we're done here. We are done. We are done. We are done with game 2. That is in the past. The rest of this is just a formality. Finished. Final score, 812 to 188. Ushio, the MVP this time around. 14 KOs, 11 assists, 90 overall MVP rating, 202 points scored. Pretty much the most in everything. Battle data will support this. 95,000 damage dealt. Strong showing from Outrage. They've won the set officially, but they still need to play one more game for a game 3. We're going to pull that up for you guys in a moment. Oh, sit tight. All right, we are back. Having an observer for me to observe this matches so I can do this pretty much hands-free. Hallelujah. Less work. All right, getting these bands underway. Checking this out. All right, first pick will be Latios, perhaps, for Gray. No, it's going to switch off. It's going to take Blastoise. Kazuki on Defender, taking Blastoise away from Outrage for this game number 3. The last game of the set, no matter what. Outrage has already won the set. They've already claimed their point. We're only doing 3 games for record keeping. And to eliminate ties that could potentially happen. Other than, how are you guys doing? You guys excited for playoffs? I know I am. This is going to be my second one I'm a part of for this league. So, interesting to see how these teams have developed over the weeks. Speaking of development, same picks here for Ready. Going to go back to Espeon. One that's a little new here is Clefable as the healing support. What's not so new is going to be Yuzu on Alcremie and U-Haul on Miraidon. U-Haul is my co-commentator for the Lotus League. I'm interested to see how well he's been doing. This team has been rocking on, rocking out. I'm happy for him, but I'm not biased. Just because his team has won the set doesn't mean his team can't get their asses kicked for game 3. All right, last pick going to Ushio. The main attacker for the team, as I have been noticing. Gonna land on regular Charizard. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but I mean, Char Y is banned. You might as well get Diet Char Y for the Garchomp and perhaps for the Blastoise ult. So that makes sense. That's how you used Charizard before. So, like, just keep doing it that way. Regular Charizard's still effective. He's still a good mon. He's just being overshadowed by his superior form. Is what it is. About 20 seconds left for the final preparations here. Everyone is all loaded in and loaded out. I see a cursed item for both Charizard, regular Charizard, and Miraidon. That is good. They're going to be huddled around that Clefable, who's probably going to go Gravity for his opponent. About to get started here pretty soon. All right. There's the Mammoth at the bottom with the Miraidon. Up top is going to be Meryl and Alcremie. Over here is going to be Garchomp and Clefable. And at the bottom is going to be Squirtle and Espeon. Squirtle heading in, but he's going to have to do his due diligence against that Mammo, who's always looking to invade. Getting stuffed out by Squirtle with the water gun, saying, "No, sir, you can't be here. Go back to your lane. We have work to do. I look forward to going in unarmed combat with you." Over at the top, we're going to have Garchomp moving in towards the Alcremie, chopping away at the bitch, trying to get this farm. There is the secure right there. He is holding 9 points. Getting all this farm. All for him. Going to be moving top towards the neutral farm. It's going to spawn at the 9-10 mark. Charmeleon is here. Here to offer some aid. Ivysaur is here with the Sludge Bomb. About 10 seconds left until they start competing for some more form. That's gonna spawn in. It's gonna be Altaria spawning in along with Swablu. Mammo's moving up towards that centerpiece, but over here at top, there's the Whirlpool. Secures are gonna go towards mainly Ivysaur, looks like. No, actually the Chansey and the Gibble. Gibble's only 16 points. The defender is here. Are they gonna make a push for it? There's the X speed. Char doesn't want to bite just yet. Squirtle's also here. Charge thing landing on its feet. Gonna use a fire spin, defer some pressure, trying to get some center farm. Squirtle wants his level 5. It should have it with this Boltoy right here. There it is, and it's now a War Turtle. Back at the top, we're gonna have Gabite moving in with Dig. It's gonna be a Dig, Earthquake, Gabite. Hold on, that's new. Obelisk tormenting these guys. Getting more farm, gonna back up. Wants nothing to do with that. Whirlpool, Azumarill. Whirlpool's unactive, which means no doubt for you, he's all over it. Did we chase the supporter? No, yes we do. There's a water gun from War Turtle. It is 750, but back at the top here, we're gonna have Gabite moving away from this Charmeleon. Wants nothing to do with that fight. Back at the bottom, there's a Solar Beam Venusaur being outgunned a little bit by the Charge Beam of Rhydon. But DLG, Dark Lord's game, taking more of the spacing over at Raging Drago. That is a Solar Beam secure. First slash. Towards the bottom, almost time for 720. More Altaria, more Swablu. Mammo's out of position. Warto's gonna box him out. He's gonna base back. It's only Miraidon here, but he's gonna get some pieces of that. Ten more seconds for the first next set of objectives to spawn. DLG is more interested in getting some more entry damage to create passivity against Outrage. That is a lot of Charge Beam, and he has proc the Focus Band from War Turtle. Reggie rocks at the bottom. Venusaur's already getting started. There's the Sludge Bomb, weakening its defenses. Solar Beam secure in about 2 seconds. There it is. Back at the top, Charizard is not level 9, so it's not as much of a threat. Getting chopped to the bits by Gabite. Alcreamy's gonna have to back up, try to get some berries, try to get that vitamin C. That's a big score, 20 and 30. 2 more from Clef. Azuma's walking in. It's level 7. It doesn't have its ult yet. Gabite is in danger. He's gonna have to back up. He needs to secure form to get his level 9, but he won't have it. Azumarill has ult though. Moving in though. He's gonna ult in to live. There's the player up, and there's the KO with the Whirlpool. Charizard is here. It has ulted in. Down goes Venusaur. He couldn't get its ult out. Next on the chopping block is the level 7 Espeon. It's not level 8. Charizard has deferred pressure. It's gonna score for free here. 30 points with a 23 overcap. Alcreamy moseying on in, getting some vision. Red buffs on the table, but it's moving really deep in. Good stuff to Venusaur. He wants to farm auto himself. Venusaur should be able to get that blue buff. Alcreamy is just overstaying its welcome, but it's providing good information for his team, so he must be doing something right. Azumarill has an ult, but it's not time to pull the trigger just yet. Blastoise moving on in, but there is Mamoswine missing the Earthquake. There's a Charge Beam from Rhydon. Its passive is activated. It had to use some Aeos points for it. Looking at the comp, obviously, Orange Team has the range advantage. DLG has the range advantage. Miraidon has good range. It can compete somewhat, but that doesn't do as much damage as the Solar Beam, especially when paired with a Sludge Bomb. So they're gonna have to be careful. Azumarill has its work cut out for it. Both teams doing a bit of a split push. More of Outrage is at the bottom. They want to play for the Reggie Ice. There's the Earthquake engaged with the Ice Fang. Chargers going in, snuffing out that Espeon ult. Going towards Blastoise. There it is. Good basics. Miraidon ulting in. Gonna get the Blastoise gets the secure with Hydro Typhoon. Is gonna try to surf out back towards the pad. There's the Charge Beam. He's deferring pressure. There's the heal from Clef. We're going out for another team fight. Backup has arrived. Garchomp ulting in. There is no Charizard ult to stop this one. There's the Alcreamy ult. Give Charizard another chance at life. Solar Beam for entry damage. More dollars for the class. Both teams are right here at the bottom. Azumarill is finally here to party. There is the Fire Blast. Blastoise is in imminent danger. Getting KO'd. All right. DLG is conceded. You guys can have bottom pad finally. We'll take some points up top. Scores 198, 170. Outrage's favor. All right, here they come. More farm at the center. Vaporeon doing it. Sorry, Venusaur doing an invade. Getting some farm here. Getting the red buff. Alvida's Day. Mammo, I'm out of here. Wait, no, I'm not. No! Down goes Venusaur to the Play Rough Aquatail Azumarill. Back at the bottom, Miraidon's like, hey, I gotta check some of these bushes. I gotta kick these people out. I'm bringing down the thunder. Alcremie staying living on the opponent's jungle side. Charizard getting some more damage in. Can he get the KO on? Uh-oh, he did. He got it on Garchomp. Next is Ivysaur. Sorry, Venusaur. Uh-oh. Clef has ulted. Charizard's gotta leave. He's gotta start farming his ult. More farm has appeared up top. His teammates are gonna create some pressure so he can farm for free, unimpeded. They're gonna really need that Charizard ult. They're gonna need it bad. He ulted a little bit late. Charizard got the bees up top. He's gonna have to concede the objective. That's fine. Regieleki has minimized value. DLG's already in the lead. Charizard getting its jungle. Mammo's sticking to the pad. I don't think he got the memo here. Charizard doesn't have its ult yet, but it's gonna have to divert some pressure. Clef does not have its ult. Kyogre in 5. All right, it's time. It is Kyogre fight time. Miraidon is ulting. Something's about to give. Who gets it? It is Venusaur with the secure. Time to bounce back. Charizard still doesn't have an ult. They lost Azumarill. They've lost Garchomp. It is a 4-on-4, but one team's got buffs. One team gave away buffs. Charizard has its ult and it's online. Time to take back what's his. Espeon has no chance. No chance. That's what you've got. No chance. All right. Outrage still has to get a score here to get a complete 3-0 shutout. That's one score. They are down by a single point. They just need one more. Looks like they're about to have it. The final showdown is here. Charizard's gonna have to back up. He needs to heal. Charizard's like, I got a better idea. I'm gonna head to the top. But if you head to the top, who's gonna be holding down bottom? No, wait, he's gonna circle back to the tier 2. All right. DLG extending that lead. That's exactly what they needed. Uh-oh, Charizard got the 100 in. Time for a final defense. Outrage, let's see what you got. Uh-oh, Venusaur got that in. They're down by 9. Oh no, they're up by 7. Well, interesting. DLG with the comeback. Well, Outrage is about to receive the quote-unquote bad news of this game. They were down. Final score, 443 to 450. That's what I'm talking about. These are the games I want to see every single game. All 3 games, all 4 rounds. For the rest of the night, I want games of that caliber. DLG with the comeback win. They're on the board. 2-1, unfortunately. But hey, that game was awesome. Slash the MVP. 83 overall rating, 3 kills, 1 assist, 76,000 damage done. Charizard holding it down with almost 100k himself. They almost beat that out. They lost the objective. They didn't overextend. They were waiting for the Charizard ult to hold them down. They got it. And then they started turning around. But because Charizard left, DLG was able to get some scores in at the end. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Good stuff to both teams. That will conclude round 1 for this team here. Soon, very soon, we're going to get started with the next rounds.